Good morning and welcome to the GDFL Netball Show. Joining me on this very cold morning is Felicity Clayton from the Winchelsea Netball Club. Flick, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Bernie. Well, and yourself?
I am very good. Haven't seen you for a little while. Everything been going all right in Flick's world?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
So, good to hear you've been missing me anyway.
Oh yeah, always missing you, Flick. Just like a hole in the head. I mean, no, sorry. No. Now look, we'll quickly jump into the games that were played last week, and there were some big games. The first one, I think probably the game of the round, North Geelong defeating Inverleigh 57-50.
Very, very close match. It was good netball, nice and clean, and I think it was really just the last quarter that North, certainly in the last half, North really stood up and came out firing. So I think that was what made them win. Inverleigh continued to play the same game and just couldn't match the step up of North Geelong. So it was some very, very high scoring there and a fast match of netball.
Yeah, look, I think Brooke Young also been really outstanding this year, shot 35 goals.
Yes.
And together with Sylvia, who chimed in with 22 of her own goals. And yeah, I mean, wow, it was there for Inverleigh for the taking. They pretty much had to do was win it, and they were real good showing for this year's finals. But there you go. Yep. I think the big inspiration for North Geelong actually coming up over the top of Inverleigh was my offer last week of a slab, and the girls have. The girls, I've got to ring Kelly now and talk to the girls and see when they want their slab. That was the inspiration last week, and they've come up over the top. All right, look at the next game. Werribee 48 defeating East Geelong 24. Yeah. I
was saying before we went on air here today, Bertie, that you know, East 24 and Werribee 48, that's fairly low scoring for both sides. Obviously the defensive end from East was fairly good to keep Werribee under 50 goals. That hasn't happened much this season. So were there any reasons why, do you think? Or
look, Megan Renouf and Ali Roworth there in defence for East. They tried hard all day. Werribee had 6'4", 6'5" goal shooter in Ali Tubbs playing for him, and she is just a big girl to try and stop.
Ali, has she played many A grade games yet, or?
She primarily plays C grade with Werribee, but the last probably 4 or 5 weeks Werribee have played her in the A grade.
Yes.
And looks like they're going to qualify her for A grade.
We'll find out later.
We will find out later. We'll hopefully have some of the girls from Werribee in here, and we'll ask the question.
Very good.
But yeah, good win for Werribee. And for the first time this year actually, Winchelsea are actually on top of the A grade ladder.
Woo!
We'll talk about that in just a moment. Next game, Belpost Hill 63 defeated Belmont 41. Belpost Hill, of course, having a few girls out on the weekend, and Lauren Burley and Amanda Grant stepped up, played A grade, and got in best on the court. So G and Burls there stepping up for Belpost Hill. Good to see, girls. And of course Kim Martin shooting her mid-30s again to remain on top of the goal shooting ladder for the GDFL A grade competition.
Now it's great to see Belmont scoring 41 goals. That's massive. Good on them. I think I'm quite proud of that. I think that's really, really good. So obviously there's another 100 goals in that game. That must have been a fast game as well. Yeah,
I'm sure Kate de Grande would be happy with 41 goals against Belpost Hill.
Yeah, definitely.
Considering the first time they played them, they really, Belpost Hill, gave them a bit of a touch-up. So, yeah, good result there. What we might do quickly right now is we might go to the A grade ladder and have a look at the A grade ladder and see where we stand with that right now. And as I just mentioned, Winchelsea sitting on top for the first time this year with 14 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw. And they have got 207.9%, equal on points with Werribee, but Werribee's percentage 203.49. So there's 3 or 4% separating both teams there. And looking at the run home for Winch, they've got Anarchy and Thompson in the next 2 weeks before the season finishes. So you'd think there'd be 2 wins there for Winchelsea. Yes. Werribee have got Inverleigh and Corio coming up. So 2 harder games. I think probably Winch will get more percentage out of their 2 games than what Werribee will. They should remain on top of the ladder after the 18th round is completed. Belpost Hill there with 12 wins, 4 losses, 48 points. Same as Corio. Corio have got 48 points as well. When we look at Belpost Hill's run home, Belpost Hill have got Thompson and East Geelong. So 2 possible wins there, although East Geelong did beat him in the first round. And Corio have got Corio have got North, Geelong and Werribee. So 2 tough games. 2 tough games to finish off the season for Corio. You think they might beat North, but Werribee's going to be a tough one for them in the last round.
Now Inverleigh have Werribee and Belmont Lions. Do you think they could come back into the top 5 then, depending on what Corio does with a few?
Well, there is 2 games. You've forgotten East Geelong there.
Yep.
East Geelong have got Belmont and Belpost Hill. So let's say that at worst case scenario, East Geelong loses to Belpost Hill in the last round.
Yep.
Inverleigh will probably beat Belmont in the last round, but later on this afternoon they do have Werribee.
Yep.
So it's going to be a tough ask for them to beat Werribee. So I think at season's end, East Geelong will probably end up half a game in front, but worst case scenario. Looks like East Geelong, they're playing finals for the first time in a few years.
You'll be hoping?
I'll be hoping very much. It's looking good at the moment. We'll look at the next game. Winchelsea 68 defeated West Geelong 22 in another high scoring game for Winchelsea, win by 40 odd goals there. Ange Mawson best on court, and of course Julia Knott following up with another 43 odd goals for the game.
Yeah, and we see that Eliza Matheson, who's been playing a lot of B grade games, has stepped up there and played A grade again there. I think she has played a few this season, so to look into that one. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly how many games Dogs has played for the year. Also, just we should mention, Julia Knott, just noticed on the Netball Victoria website the other day, Julia Knott making the Victorian under-21 side. So congratulations to Julia. And the form that she's in over the last month or so, it's been wow. Yep. She has really been shooting the lights out of the ring. Yeah. So great effort there by Julia Knott. Next one, Anarchy 41 defeating Thompson 30. Nice win there to Anarchy. Bit of a scrappy game from what I've been told. Julie Jurison and Morgan Mitchell there in goals. And Jules, you can't quite see it, but I've got you up here in a photo behind me, but we'll get it for you next week. Lucy Virtue also holding up the defensive end there, and which was good to see. What we might do right now, Flick, go for a quick break. Yes.
And we'll be back in just a moment.